Welcome to 500 Doors, your real estate podcast. Alrighty. Welcome back to 500 Doors, your real estate podcast. I'm Kim Hayden. Thank you for joining me. I'm excited today. My daughter just recently visited Milwaukee, and there is actually a building in Milwaukee, which currently is the tallest mass timber building in North America. Not in the, no, actually, I think it may be the world. 25 stories, called the Ascent. And this was part of a homework project. And I'm excited because, Justin, you are in those stomping grounds, Milwaukee. And I did wonder, honestly, why they would build a historical world record setting mass timber building in Milwaukee. When I think Milwaukee, I think beer or Wisconsin cheese, right? Yes. But yeah, I'm dying to dig into a bit about your market and why they chose Milwaukee for this flagship building, the building that is going to change the world in the perception of mass timber. But let's do this before we get going, before we dive into why Milwaukee. Justin, can you give us a little bit of background and, make it the Cliff Notes, because, students only, as a former teacher.
Attention spans don't last long.
You got 3 seconds for the goldfish in the audience. Go for it, Justin.
All right. I'm Justin Ippotoli. I've been in real estate since 2012, all in the Metro Milwaukee area. I was a high school teacher before that for about 7 years, and love what I do every day here in the Milwaukee area, making the community a better place.
So, Justin, are you married? You have kids? Why? What grade did you teach in school? Was it high schoolers? Is that why you're not doing it anymore? Yeah. I mean, why? I mean, everybody goes, "Oh, I want to be a teacher because it's a guaranteed wage. I'll get retirement benefits, all this other stuff." It's kind of the opposite. Although I would say your clients are just as challenging at times. But what grade did you teach?
So I worked with high schoolers with emotional and behavioral disabilities in the
high
urban
schoolers
setting. So I didn't have a huge urban background when I started that. As a young man, I got out of school and, like you said, needed a stable income, needed something to do, and didn't have a background in education either, and was able to get in through a great urban improvement program called the New Teacher Project, which operates all over the United States in struggling urban environments, placing capable people in the school system. And for some reason, they thought I was a good fit for that. And it was a life-changing experience, just getting that urban exposure and working with high school kids, and again, I was young. I was 24 when I got into that program. So it really shaped what I am today.
So they probably saw you as the cool teacher because they could identify with you.
I had a great relationship with the kids. I still keep in touch. I was 7 years in that setting, and I still have good relationships with a lot of the kids I worked with at that time that, need a lot of support, in and outside of the school building, just figuring life out and what the possibilities are. And I treasured, that just time with the kids. The system is really challenging. And, there's a lot of reasons why I'm no longer in that system, economically.
They don't pay teachers very well in the States. Like no. It's funny because here in Canada, like a teacher's starting salary, kindergarten, is like $56 a year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then I try and tell them in Wichita, Kansas, I think it's like 22 a year.
I started, in the urban setting, which gets a little bit more than even, outside of that. I started about half of what, your kindergarten teachers make there. And I had, 7 years of student loan debt, bought a house as a, new teacher. And, I was in a position where every month, I'd pay my bills and there'd be nothing left. Zero.
Nothing left. And what a shame. What a shame. I bet this moves you into a different kind of space. You're still supporting a community. And I know in my years of doing real estate, I saw everything from the good, like having a new baby. The job is great. They're moving up. They're happy. They're going on vacation, to the bad, where
Yeah.
recession has hit Calgary and people are losing their homes.
Yeah.
And so I had to navigate all of that. And I'm just sitting here listening to you going, it sounds as if you've got the wherewithal, that kind of that resilience reservoir
Yeah.
to be able to work with clients no matter where they are in their cycle.
And, when I started real estate, we had just really come out of our big, recession, here in the States after, the foreclosure crisis, all that stuff. So I started in 2012, just kind of coming out of that. And it was very much, a recovering market still at that time. So I worked with, a lot of investors, a lot of, urban, consumers, just, stemming from my background in the urban education system. And, right off the bat, I kind of developed myself as, a units, realtor, where, there's people that sell, 10 houses on the lake for, the 100 houses I sell, in the urban setting. But, I really enjoyed, the busyness and, just the gratefulness that people have, working in areas of need.
Tell us a little bit. So you just mentioned that, and I was more of a volume real estate agent but I was very community based.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you what it's like to only sell 10 houses a year, because I never sold, just even my very first year out, I never sold just 10 houses a year. Nice. So I got to meet a lot of people. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit. So coming out of this, and I think we're seeing more compressed timelines of those fluctuating ups and downs within the real estate market.
Yeah.
Because, and I think that's to be expected with our technology compressions and with our timelines of everything. Everything's getting compressed faster and faster. So we're experiencing these ups and downs.
Yeah, for sure.
What, tell us a little bit about your market, where you work, and why it's a good place for people to live.
Yeah. It's funny, kind of my life progression. I grew up in a really small town of about 1,600 people, right on the Wisconsin-Illinois border. So, about as non-urban as it gets. And then I went to college in a small rural town in Ohio. And then I went from there to graduate school in Virginia Beach, which was really my first, city experience. And I hated Virginia Beach. Driving out of my apartment parking lot, I'd sit in traffic for an hour and just curse the world the entire time. It was a fun city, in ways, very military based. You have the beach and but I walked away from that experience saying, hey, I never want to be in a city environment again. And from there, I came back, to my home state and began teaching in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee just completely changed my life. It's a city, obviously, and we have downtown, we have professional sports, we have, concert venues and hotels, but it's a very residentially based city. Our downtown is very compact. Our commercial areas are pretty compact. And, we're an urban city surrounded completely on all sides by suburban areas that are also very residentially based. So, as a realtor, you get to know all these different, areas, neighborhoods, communities, and that's the heart of the area, the heart of who we are. And then, dabble a little bit in the commercial sides of things and getting to know those things. But it's really the residential that makes our area what it is. And I've loved in the last, decade plus getting to know, every inch of that residential market.
Milwaukee holds doesn't it have the largest number per capita of independent breweries?
So in Wisconsin, I saw a list one time that 6 or 7 of the top, per capita pub, areas were cities in the state of Wisconsin, and Milwaukee certainly reflects that. Pubs are just a great gathering space, not only for, beer, but just social. And, obviously we've been through a lot with COVID and stuff as far as social get-togethers and being able to enjoy people. And, even our residential homes, Wisconsin homes are known for having their, rec rooms, for Packer parties. And, every good basement has a bar, with, a tapper or, a sink or something. So, it's definitely a way of life in our area.
Oh, too fun. Well, and that's what my daughter said. It was just a really vibrant city.
Yeah.
Like she walked around a lot. They did a lot of things. There's a museum that she went to that was pretty darn cool. And she, I mean, everybody goes, "You're going to Milwaukee?" She goes, "Well, why not Milwaukee?" It seems like a cool place, right?
Yeah.
So when I say the word community, what does the word community mean to you?
Yeah, I think community is bringing people together, having, kind of a united front across the city. You think of a city the size of Milwaukee, what we have in Southeast Wisconsin, and community for one person means such a different thing than community for another person. And, I think as a realtor, as someone who is working boots on the ground in the community, my goal of community is to have, people integrated and thinking like-mindedly and for the better of the city and for the area. And, I think that can be challenging, with a lot of divergent viewpoints in the world we live in. But I think at the heart of it, people want to live in, like you said, vibrant areas, good areas that are on the upswing with positive things happening. And, it takes so many people coming together to see that happen in a positive way.
And what do you do specifically to nurture community, either with your clients, past clients, or in a specific geographical area?
I think just, having community knowledge, neighborhood knowledge, opening people's worldviews up a little bit, because I think, the challenge is in a time where inventory is lacking in every, major environment, certainly in the United States, and I'm sure in Canada, it's the same way too. We have an inventory problem. Mm-hmm. So, I'll meet, a nice young couple looking to buy their first house, and they say, "Hey, my parents say we need to either live in Wauwatosa or Bayview, two of the hottest neighborhoods, in Southeast Wisconsin." And I say, "Hey, you're looking to buy, a $250,000 house for your first house. What about, Cooper Park or, Mount Mary area or, Harambe?" And they're like, "Oh, we've never really thought about those neighborhoods. Are they safe? Are they good?" And like, "Hey, let's take a drive out, see what you think." And, you kind of be an ambassador and a cheerleader for, what different, neighborhoods have to offer that people may not have had as the first thing on their mind. But, as they consider it and see what they can get for their money, they say, "Hey, this is not a bad place to live. Let us invest here." And you see 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 people do that. And all of a sudden a neighborhood and a community is on the rise and good things are happening. So I think that's, a big part of what I set out to do every day of my life.
I totally agree. A community is only as strong as the people within it. Mm-hmm. And when we get the privilege as real estate agents to help relocate great people to other communities, it helps create better communities.
Yes.
And I do know the parent. Oh my gosh, nothing kills a deal faster than a parent.
Right.
Sorry, and I am a parent now.
Right, yeah.
I'm telling my kids, like, I remember the first home I sold that was $137,000. Well, that same house, that same exact property is like $600,000 in Calgary. Crazy. And that's just a 20-year span.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really hard. So I sit here and go, "Oh, here comes the parents." And they always go, "I remember when," and now I'm one of them, because I started real estate when I was 29, and I've grown up and raised my kids through real estate. So I totally do remember that. So let's talk. I love to ask about hidden gems, because I know as a real estate agent, we know the backstories.
Yeah.
We know the copy shops, the candlestick makers, the bankers. We know what's going on, right? Yeah. We're kind of like the nosy neighbor, right? So share with us a couple of shout outs you would love to give to those often maybe missed hidden gems or great things to do if somebody comes and visits, great things that they should do.
So, I think one thing that I didn't know about Milwaukee that I've come to love, and I think anyone who comes here can appreciate, we have a really great park system throughout our city and our surrounding areas. So, in any really neighborhood area, there's a great park. And I can probably think, just in Metro Milwaukee area of 10 to 12 great parks that I've enjoyed that are there for people, and a great way to have that moment. I enjoy very much with my fading skill set, adult recreational sports, and our park systems support that. And I think it's a great way, again, building community. Some of the people I engage with, are just really people that uplift me and bring positivity in my life. And, it's neat to see that even in, again, city areas, urban areas, to have those, area times where you can kind of have recreation and enjoy nature and beauty within an urban landscape. And I love that about Milwaukee, and they put a lot of time and resources into maintaining those systems.
Does the city have an initiative or a mandate for new development for reserving certain amount of park space, or, what's kind of their thought process around having urban and suburban park spaces?
Yeah, and I think it's something, the city's really put a lot of effort in, even without outside push, for a long time. Most of our parks have been in place for a long time, both, on all sides of the city, south, north, east, west. There's established and maintained parks that have been there for decades and, kept up with. And, I think it's something that the city and the residents take a lot of pride and joy in.
Awesome. Calgary has a bike path that goes all the way from Calgary, Alberta, an hour and a half up into Banff Mountains. So you can literally ride a bike, hike, or run from the city of Calgary. Now, I've never done this, folks. You talked about fading skill set. I had no skill set. I'm like a weeble. I wobble, but I don't fall down. But that's not actually true. I have fallen. I have bad ankles, and I fall all the time. So yes, I am. At least you had a skill set. What do you think separates you from other agents? We know that in this industry, it's 87%. And I say this almost every episode, so just fast forward, folks. But 87% of people who get their real estate license actually are out of the business within 36 months. And a lot of them actually end up leaving the business having acquired significant debt trying to work the business.
Yeah.
What do you think separates you from the other people you went through school with that are not still in real estate?
Yeah. I worked at a decent sized office. We generally, in my time in my office, have probably run in like the 60 to 80 agent range, just in my specific location. So probably annually we bring about, 10 to 15 new agents into my specific office. And yeah, it's certainly not for lack of eagerness or desire or excitement. I mean, so many people of, different age groups, different backgrounds, and all come in, investing into a new business. I mean, like you said, it's, you're not just, taking a stroll down the sidewalk. I mean, you're spending a lot to get a license, build a brand, establish yourself into something completely new. And people don't do that on a whim. They put time, thought, and energy into that. And I think, real estate is hard. Most people practice, completely 100% commission. So I think until you've had that experience in your life, you do not understand what it means to not have a guaranteed paycheck, like to work and work and work and not know when your next income is going to come. That's stressful. And, I think especially for younger people, and a lot of people, here, you don't even need a college degree to get into real estate. You can graduate high school as an 18-year-old and get your real estate license the next day if you were wanted to. And, I think, just being able to connect with people completely at your own responsibility and directive, take them down a journey where they're spending a lot of money to make a big investment and encourage them to get to the finish line. It's hard, and, without a lot of life background and understanding, it's hard to build those connections with people. And, most brokerages, God bless them all, are very happy to, take your monthly dues and, put your name on the roster, and, it's on you to be, have the self-initiative to find a way to get those deals done. And it's really hard starting out. I was very fortunate, when I started that, especially buyer side deals were a lot more plentiful at that time. They were easy to come by, it was challenging for sellers, and there was, buyers could have their pick of the litter. It's not that way for new agents now. And I think, in a market where sellers have a lot easier time than buyers do, new agents have a harder time building business on the seller side than they do on the buyer side. I don't know that I'd be here practicing real estate the way I do now if I would have started in today's market. So I'm very grateful for having the ability to start when I did. But I definitely feel for new agents now. I've seen a lot of great people come in and out of our doors and not find the success that they very passionately wanted. And it's hard to see that. And I wish the best for anyone who tries, but it's certainly not easy. And the success rate is low.
Yeah, the success rate is low. However, just so everybody knows, the success rate is actually higher in real estate than a general entrepreneur setting up a new company.
Nice.
So general entrepreneur has there's a 90% fail rate. So
yeah,
sorry guys, odds, I just don't have really good odds here. It's all what you put into it. You just mentioned something that has always been something I talked a lot about. How important is getting to the seller's side as a professional real estate agent?
Yeah, at this point in my career, I have good operations, but it's, humble. And, so I have a full-time buyer's agent that works, with me, as well as, unlicensed admin support. But, I handle 100% of my listings from start to finish. They're my pride and joy, my babies. And I think, when someone entrusts you to come inside of their residence and sell, what they live, breathe, and sleep in, to random consumers, it's a big responsibility. And it's a great market for selling homes. Prices have gone up so much, like you said, and just in your time as, a realtor, to see where prices have come and gone. Even in my time, I've seen people that bought houses from me 5 to 7 years ago that are sitting on 6 figures of equity. And, when I started real estate, there's people that owned their house for 20 years and were breaking even. So it's really exciting to see, for people that have gone down the path of home ownership, what it's done for their lives. And, to be able to step up with them and maximize that experience and get every bit out of it that they can get. I love that. And it's a great market for that, but it's also a big responsibility. It's something I don't take lightly any day of the week. And, anyone who's willing to, let me go down that journey with them, I don't take that, with any small grain of salt.
Okay. So I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Can you share one thing you think new agents should be doing every single day in order to achieve success?
Without a doubt, and, obviously with the way technology has gone, there's a lot of ideas and a lot of, fancy systems you can pay for and everything. There's no doubt in my mind that my biggest success is calling people that I know every day. And as a new agent, not having, much of an established business, what you have is the people you know. And the people somewhere in their brains are thinking about buying and selling real estate. or they know someone closely that is doing that at this moment. And every person you call that knows you already is a possibility where you can make a real estate connection. And that's not something you pay for. That's not something, some crazy coach from, the islands of California can tell you the secret. It's just calling people every day. And if you do that diligently, you will have opportunities to buy and sell real estate.
Absolutely. Nurture your spheres, and nurture. Don't say, by the way, anybody who's looking to buy or sell? By the way, free home evaluation. They're all free.
Want to sign a buyer agency?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's as simple as being the steward. Be the steward.
Connect with people, care about people, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's pull up your socials.
Yeah.
So I know that you are on LinkedIn. Which is the best place? How's the best place for us to get a hold of you? If there is somebody that is, from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that watches this and says, I'm going to reach out to this guy because I'm thinking of going into real estate. First of all, where can they reach out to you? And second of all, would you take their call and just chat with them?
Yeah, no, it's fun, just with some of the national media, like Real Trends and things. It's been really fun to connect with people from different markets. And, I think anytime in my limited experience, I've had the opportunity to do something like this, I've always had some great follow-up calls and connections that stem from it. And I love it. I think it's so good to hear from people that are doing, what I'm doing all over the world. And, certainly social media makes it easier than ever to connect, Facebook message, connect that way. That, comes right to me. I like, LinkedIn's kind of funny for people, maybe a little more of a nerdy social media, which I'm probably a nerd at heart, which is fine. So I like connecting with people on LinkedIn, and, I think it's a little less pomp and circumstance than Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. So I just, send me a message and, love to connect and, hear some stories.
Awesome, folks. If you're just listening in, not watching this, Justin's website is JustinIppoliti.shorewest, and that's SHOREWEST.com. And it's J.I. Shorewest on Facebook, and Justin Ippotoli. Am I saying it right?
Yeah,
I did say it right.
Yeah.
Is that Greek by chance?
Italian.
What is that? Italian. Okay. Better, taller than the Greeks, right?
Don't tell
the Greeks. Outside voice.
I love the Greeks.
Please, if you're Greek, do not do. Yeah, I'm not saying all Greeks for sure.
Great friends of mine.
And Ippotoli is Ippoliti. So you know what? Check them out. If you're in the Milwaukee area, be sure to give them a shout. It's really important in today's world that we re-engage community, because without community, we are all lost. We are absolutely lost. And I'm finding in this journey of speaking with real estate agents, because real estate agents really are your boots on the ground. They are the people who are willing to invest their time and their energy, be it sitting on community boards, be it volunteering for community events. But they are truly the people who are advocating on your behalf because they want to see the community's success. So do lean in, give them some support, show them some love. And until next time, all I can say is, be the community leader. Step into that space, because we need true community leadership. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate your time today. You're a rock star. And if you're in Milwaukee, go check out the Ascent. Pretty cool building, Milwaukee, and obviously the pub crawls and lots of parks to visit all around. And Justin will show you the ropes.
That's right.
Excellent. Thank you, Justin.
Shaking.
Thank you for joining us at the 500 Doors, Your Real Estate Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share.